What if, right now, without warning, your heart stopped? Not in some dramatic movie moment, not with music, not with people around you screaming your name, but silently, instantly. And the scariest part isn't that you died, it's that you didn't leave. You're still here, still aware, still thinking, but your body is gone. Now let me ask you something. If you were trapped inside your own body, fully conscious, unable to move, unable to speak, unable to even breathe on your own, how long before your mind breaks? Seconds, minutes, or would it take something worse? Something like knowing you're going to feel every second of your own death for the next 24 hours. Now think about that carefully, because in this world, death doesn't end in seconds. It stretches, painfully, into an entire day, 24 hours of awareness, of confusion, of slowly losing everything that makes you, you. Now imagine the exact moment it begins. 1 second, everything is normal. The next, silence. Not outside, but inside your body. Your heart stops, but your brain doesn't. Now ask yourself, what's the first thing you would notice? Because it's not darkness. It's not peace. It's wrongness. Something feels off. Your body isn't responding. Your breathing isn't automatic anymore. Your chest doesn't rise the way it should, and your brain starts asking questions. Fast, aggressive, desperate. What just happened? Why can't I move? Why can't I breathe properly? Now here's where it gets terrifying, because your brain is still getting signals, but they're incomplete, broken, like a system failing in real time. Now imagine trying to move your fingers. Nothing. Trying to open your eyes wider. Nothing changes. Trying to scream, but no sound comes out. Now ask yourself, how long before panic takes over? Because panic needs oxygen, and your body isn't supplying enough anymore. But here's the twist. Your brain refuses to shut down. Instead, it holds on, forcing you to stay aware, forcing you to experience every second of it. Now imagine lying there, completely aware that something is very wrong, but not understanding how bad it really is. And then, it hits you. The realization, slow, heavy, impossible to ignore. You're not dying. You're already dead. And this is what comes after. Now think about that moment, when your brain fully understands. There's no coming back, no recovery, no second chance, just time. 24 hours of it. Now here's the question. What happens inside your head when escape is no longer an option? Because your brain doesn't just accept it. It fights, it searches for solutions, it replays possibilities, anything to regain control. Now imagine memories starting to surface. Random at first, small things, faces, conversations, moments you haven't thought about in years. Now ask yourself, why these memories? Why now? Because your brain is trying to stabilize itself, trying to hold on to identity, trying to remind you who you are before it starts losing that too. Now imagine those memories getting stronger, clearer, more emotional, like your entire life is being replayed, but not in order, not like a movie, more like chaos, fragments colliding into each other. Now think about how overwhelming that would be to experience everything again, all at once, while knowing it's already over. Now here's the darker part, because as your brain struggles to stay active, it starts failing, slowly, piece by piece. Now imagine your thoughts becoming harder to control, slower, heavier, like your mind is slipping, and you can't stop it. Now ask yourself, at what point do you stop being yourself? Because if your thoughts change, if your memories fade, if your awareness becomes unstable, are you still you? Or just something that used to be? Now imagine the outside world continuing like nothing happened. People talking, moving, living, completely unaware. That inside, you're still there, still conscious, still experiencing every second. Now think about that isolation, being surrounded by life, but completely cut off from it. Now imagine someone touching your body, moving it, and you feel it, faintly, like echoes. But you can't respond. You can't react. You can't even let them know you're still there. Now ask yourself, Is that worse than death itself? Because death at least ends things, but this stretches it, forces you to stay. Now hours begin to pass, or at least something that feels like hours, because time changes when you have nothing but your thoughts. It slows down, stretches, becomes unbearable. Now imagine counting seconds, trying to measure how long you have left, but losing track over and over again. Now think about the mental exhaustion of that, being trapped, aware, waiting, with no way to escape, and what happens next is where things stop making sense. Now imagine this. You've already accepted it, or at least you think you have. The panic is gone. The resistance is fading, but something feels different now. Your thoughts aren't as sharp. Your awareness isn't as clear. It's like your mind is slowly drifting away from you. And here's the terrifying part. You can feel it happening. Now let me ask you something. What happens when your brain starts shutting down, but you're still conscious enough to notice it? Because that's exactly where you are right now, aware enough to understand, but not strong enough to stop it. Now imagine your thoughts slowing down, words becoming harder to form, sentences breaking apart before they finish, like your mind is glitching, failing, piece by piece. Now ask yourself, how long before you lose control completely? Because control is the first thing to go. Now imagine your memories starting to lose their structure, not disappearing, but changing, blending together, turning into something unrecognizable. Now think about that. Your entire life, everything you've ever known, slowly becoming something you can't even understand anymore. Now here's where it gets darker. Because your brain doesn't stop creating, even as it's failing. It keeps generating images, sounds, sensations. Now imagine seeing things that aren't there, hearing voices that don't exist, feeling presence in a place where you're completely alone. Now ask yourself, if your brain can create reality, how would you know what's real anymore? Because at this stage, reality doesn't matter. Perception does. Now imagine having a conversation, hearing responses, feeling like someone is there with you and not knowing if it's your mind or something else. Now think about the fear, the confusion, the complete loss of certainty. Now hours pass, or what feels like hours, because time is completely broken now. Moments repeat, stretch, collapse into each other. Now imagine being stuck in a loop, reliving the same thought, the same memory, again and again, unable to move forward. Now ask yourself, is that still time or something else entirely? Now here's the disturbing shift, because at some point, fear disappears completely. Now imagine that, all the panic, all the dread, gone, replaced by something quiet, empty, almost peaceful. Now think about what that means, because your brain isn't calming down. It's shutting down emotional response. Now imagine not caring anymore, not resisting, not even questioning what's happening, just existing as everything fades. Now ask yourself, is that relief? Or is that the end of who you are? Because when emotions disappear, what's left? Now imagine your thoughts becoming simpler, slower, until they're barely thoughts at all, just sensations, fragments, fading signals. Now think about that moment, when you can no longer form a complete idea, when you, as a thinking being, starts to dissolve. Now here's the final stage, not a sudden blackout, but a gradual dimming, like lights turning off one by one. Now imagine awareness shrinking, smaller, weaker, until there's almost nothing left. Now ask yourself, at what exact point do you stop existing? Because there's no clear line, no single moment, just a slow, continuous fading. Now imagine the last thing you experience. Not fear, not pain, just nothing forming into something, and then even that disappears. Now think about how different that is from what we believe. We think death is instant, but what if it isn't? What if it's this, a long, drawn-out process, where you experience every second, every thought, every fragment, until there's nothing left? Now here's the real question. If you knew this is how death works, would you live differently? Would you make different choices, knowing that one day you'll have to sit through every second of your own ending? Now think about that carefully, because maybe the scariest part of death isn't dying. It's having the time to realize it's happening.